this shit up a little bit. Welcome to Intro Avenue. This is episode 3. We're talking about phi, or the golden ratio, or Fibonacci numbers.
It goes into
relates
to things.
This is a completely different thing than I think our last episode. I just really like the golden ratio and hearing about like math. My math brain likes math.
I never heard about it until we started researching it, and I've heard the phrase Fibonacci, but I never looked into it. So when I did, I thought it was interesting.
So one thing that I learned is that the golden ratio is also called phi, which I thought was interesting because it kind of sounds like pi, but it's phi.
Yeah, it's spelled similar.
Got its own symbol and everything the way pi does. And phi is approximately, if I can remember, 0.61803398875.
Okay.
So that is phi.
And it continues on forever. Same
way as pi, same way as the square root of 2.
Also more irrational than both of those.
More irrational.
Which is, when we were looking into that, I thought that was interesting that the square root of 2 is more irrational than pi. I thought that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, definitely something that blew my mind away was just the being able to measure irrationality in a mathematical way.
Yeah. What was it called again? The continued fraction?
Yeah, the continued fraction. So pi, the square root of 2, and phi all have pretty much any number that doesn't end, any irrational number is going to have this thing called a continued fraction. And it's basically pi is 3.14159. So you could just display the fraction, the 0.14159, you can display that as a fraction. So how would you do that? And you're trying to figure out that step mathematically. I watched a video by a guy called Numberphile on YouTube, and that really helped me. If you want to figure out more about the continued fractions and stuff and how to measure how irrational a number is.
He shows a lot of cool visuals, so yeah, it's a good video.
It is a really good video. It blew me away just how rational pi is. Because I
super unexpected.
Love pi.
Yeah.
I love pi.
Yeah.
You don't, and when you hear of an irrational number, and then you pick a favorite, when you hear about another one being more irrational, you're like, wait a second, hold on. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But then I, watched that Numberphile video and literally learned how to do the continued fraction for phi, for pi, for the square root of 2. But I might in editing put some on the video, some of those displays and of a continued fraction and how to go through it. But it's literally just a way to measure how irrational a number is. So one thing I also learned is they used to tell the older generation that pi was approximately 22/7. I think. So that's 3.14. But then it starts getting inaccurate pretty quick from there. From I know pi to 3.14159 off the top of my head.
Yeah.
And that is more accurate than 22/7.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting that generations before us.
Close enough.
Yeah, being told this is a simple thing, but it's I was talking to you earlier, and we were talking about solar system models that are built for kids are definitely nowhere near accurate of what the solar system actually looks like. But it helps kind of pique interest. It's like a teaching tool.
Yeah.
You have to get to a certain point before you can get to another point. Because trying to tell a kid, hey, you can lose the whole planet Earth in Jupiter, and you can lose all of Jupiter in the sun.
It's a little harder to grasp.
It's impossible to grasp. As an adult, I still don't understand. It's wait, what? Everything I've ever loved and seen and then some could fit in a planet? And then that planet can fit in the sun? And or in phi.
In phi?
I mean, phi is in pi is in phi.
Pi is in phi.
Yeah.
But
because they're both infinite.
Is phi and pi?
Yeah.
Yeah,
vice
they're
versa.
both. Yeah.
They're both going to be infinite unrepeating numbers.
That's so cool. That is really cool. It goes.
So Fibonacci numbers they start with two numbers, right? 0 and 1. So I did a bunch of, I don't deep dive my research. I do a lot of YouTube videos and stuff, but I saw a lot of different videos kind of displaying them with like a 0, 1, 2 or 0 or just 1, 1, 2.
Yeah. They don't even repeat the one sometimes, which is a little annoying.
So it's, if they're just trying to list out what's a Fibonacci number, you won't want to repeat the 1 because you already got it. But if you're teaching people, I think the textbook Fibonacci sequence starts with a 0 and a 1, and then you add those numbers together and continue. So 0, 1 as to 1.
Yeah.
And then you add that number to the last number, so that's a 1, so you get 2. Add that number to the last number.
Yeah, and
1.
if you don't put the second one in there, then it doesn't make sense mathematically on how you're getting 2.
Yeah, it doesn't. So I just kind of wanted to call that out. Also, if you look up phi on Google, it'll give you like a fraction, I think it's 1/2, plus or minus, like plus the square root of 5. I should have wrote that down, but did you?
No, I didn't.
But it was like a fraction that it's plus or minus, and Google just has a plus, so Google fix your shit. I'm a high school dropout and I can correct you. But if you did, you can kind of use that continued fraction math to solve for phi backwards, which I found really interesting. Like you can solve for phi by figuring out what a continued fraction is and understanding what that means. Because once you get to a certain point, that's why they used to say, it's 22/7 because it's really accurate. It's within 1% of accurate for pi. So that's really accurate. But it's not accurate enough.
And it's math.
If you're measuring rocket
accurate.
ships,
Yeah.
if you're going to send something to the moon, you can't be off by the 5th decimal.
Yeah.
That's why rocket ships were crashing in the 60s, because we were off by the 5th decimal. So I'm sure that probably had something to do with it. And then also some guy measuring in imperial and some other guy measuring in metric.
Yeah.
It's like crazy just how fucked up these things can get off of like little details. But that number file video was so cool. It was really complicated, especially once you started solving for phi, but measuring using the continued fraction for pi and the square root of 2 and phi were all really fun. If you enjoy doing math, go do a continued fraction for like the square root of 2. That's my challenge.
Yeah, it was super interesting. Did you want to get into the golden ratio aspect of it?
So, yeah, the golden ratio, that's phi.
That's phi. But
There's just another name for the same thing.
In the sense that
the divine proportion, the golden ratio, phi, it's all the same number.
Right. I'm just saying do you want to start getting into the correlations?
Like where there are things in nature?
Yeah.
Yeah. So go nuts.
Go nuts. Okay.
Yeah. I feel like I'd be talking a lot.
Okay. No, you're good. You're good. So it's the point. Yeah. So in nature, right? We can look at things, right, and try to figure it out. I don't know.
There's a bunch of examples in nature of things like the golden ratio popping up and Fibonacci numbers.
There's like the spiral as well. The
golden spiral, which is people like to talk about art and stuff. Also, like, what's that shell that people are talking about?
Yeah. There's the
Yeah, but there's plenty of examples of shells that don't follow that golden ratio. But there's plenty of examples in nature everywhere. Like, nature is chaos. Like, but that's the thing, is like nature is chaos.
Yeah, because we were literally saying, I like how you phrased it. So we were literally saying like, entropy is ever increasing, and phi is as chaotic mathematically as anything can be. It's the perfect chaos.
The most irrational number.
It's perfect chaos though, because it like with the there was a whole thing about the plants, right, and the sunflowers, and then whatever.
That number file
it's supposed to be beneficial. Obviously, how plants grow is for survival, right?
Yeah.
And so they took
to collect
this,
the most sun, to spread the most seeds.
Yeah. So with the sunflower, it's like, how are they going to be positioned to be the most beneficial?
Yeah, because they only have this much space to fill up as many seeds as possible. So how do you fit? How do you, do the same exact thing every time, but also cover that entire area while doing the same exact thing every time? Because that's going to be the simplest thing to do, is do the exact same thing and cover as much of the area as possible while you do it.
And it was just interesting because they were trying to be like, they were going from like small numbers to like, they tried pi, they tried phi, like whatever, and like it was interesting because a lot of them were looking like what were they called? Were they spokes? Yeah, they had like things coming out, right?
Yeah.
And they were like.
So it's like imagining if you had like this thing, and it's like the bud of a flower, right? And you want to grow a seed on that. So you grow a seed, and then you have to figure out how much do you rotate around that bud before you grow another seed. And if you don't rotate at all, you're just going to grow seeds on top of seeds and pushing them out.
Yeah.
If you rotate a half a turn, you're going to have seeds growing out one way, and then 180 degrees from that, they're going to go the other way. If you're spinning a third of a turn, you're going to get, like 3 legs.
Yeah.
Right?
With straight legs.
All
right?
straight legs. And if you get, a 10th of a turn, you're going to get 10 legs.
Yeah.
If you do a 20th of a turn, you're going to get 20 legs.
And when you start breaking it up into like small changes to like what is it, like the not the decimal, but
the 100th decimal.
Yeah,
you stop changing it by like whole fractions.
Yeah. When you start changing it like that, it begins to turn.
Yeah.
And that's
they start spiraling because you're not spinning an equal amount of turns. So when you spin like a third of a third of a third of a turn, you're gonna spin that much, and then not quite that much, and then not quite, and then you're always gonna kind of be chasing yourself, so to speak, and kind of falling behind a little bit.
What was I gonna say? The spiral. Oh yeah, they were like, okay, so if the whole fraction, or so if the whole numbers are giving us straight lines, and then these slightly changes are giving us spirals, it must be like
whole decimal,
sorry, and then it must be it has to be, let's say it has to be an irrational number now, because obviously these numbers are giving us like it's not beneficial.
Like pretty recognizable patterns with a lot of open space.
And so they tried pi, right? Supposed to be really, really irrational. And it was this weirdly...
It did a spiral.
It
had 3 legs, because pi's pretty close to 3.1. So it has 3 spokes, so to speak. But then it does like a spiral in the center. It does like a scattering in the middle, so to speak. And then it settles on these 22 spokes.
Yeah.
So that's like, it's like they said like the 7 over 22. That's like the 22 spokes of that flower. It starts to settle on that once you get to that point. That is that point where you get the 1 over 292. That's when you're getting, you're going to be 292 iterations later when you're going to start seeing it like start to wave again. Because you're not going to start noticing that kind of like thing.
It's still not the most beneficial.
Pi is definitely not. Pi is not even as good as the square root of 2.
Square root of 2.
The square root of 2 is more irrational than pi. Because if they were teaching people how to display the pi as 22 over 7, that's pretty rational. Like I can picture 22 over 7.
Yeah.
When you first hear about like the square root of 2, how do you display the square root of 2? With a square root symbol and a 2 under it. Like that's how.
Yeah.
Like there ain't no like fraction that you can simplify it down to. It is the square root over 2.
There's no 2 numbers that like
fractions. I learned in 3rd grade. Square roots is like a high school concept.
Yeah.
So like it's literally just more complicated from the get go to like even simplify. So then you go to phi, and then how do you even get that number? like other than using that extended rate, the extended fraction for phi, but also solving it backwards for trying to create them. Once we found a measure to measure how irrational a number is, we just put in what numbers they would have to be the most irrational number, and then solve for x.
Yeah.
And when you solve for x, you get phi.
You get phi.
So it's in that most chaotic, most irrational number, then you start to get, if you're spinning a phi number of turns, then you start to display things like pineapples, artichokes, sunflower seeds.
Yeah.
Like all of these things are kind of growing in that pattern, but they're not doing math.
Yeah.
They're not doing math.
They're doing beneficial things
for survival. Yeah. So it's but then we talk about things in nature all the time that deviate from this golden ratio or whatever. But we also talk about things that deviate from crabs all the time.
Yeah.
It's there are more things that have evolved into crabs than things that can fly.
Yeah, more things that will evolve into crabs too.
It is more likely to become a crab than something that can fly.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So it's that doesn't make a lot of sense, but we don't look at everything it's all gonna be crabs one day. But it would kind of make there's a lot to go on at the bottom of the ocean. It's effective down there, which is why life tends to go that way. Tends to become a crab because 70% of the world is at the bottom of the ocean. Yeah. So it's and if you're a hard tanking, pinching, bottom feeding machine, that's the best thing to be for the whole earth that's covered in 70% ocean.
Hard shell.
Yeah. So there's plenty of things that aren't crabs, but crabs are the most effective species on the planet because they've evolved 4 times and wings have evolved 2 or 3. You know? So it's phi is that effective thing where pineapples and artichokes are doing it to spread their seeds in a way that
something with trees,
fills
right?
their I know less about trees, so I don't feel as comfortable talking about it. If you want to talk about it, go nuts.
That felt like a lot of pressure.
Well, I'm just saying you brought it up.
Okay. No.
No. She said no.
There's a lot in art as well. People, because I know they were saying oh, we watched the video and it was kind of trying to disprove it in a sense, but it was people Leonardo da Vinci did a lot of paintings with the Fibonacci sequence. You know what I mean? Or some sort of what is it?
That's also up for conjecture. That's 100% up for conjecture. Just because you can put a golden spiral over his painting and it lines up doesn't mean that he was doing that with the intention.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's music with examples of that.
Yeah.
1 1 2 3 5. 3 2 1 1. That music, but then that could just sound good to the artist. They don't need to be doing it with the intention of creating it in this golden ratio structure. But then when you do, and then you've got other people looking for meaning, they find your song and they're oh, see, this is.
I just feel it could be believable with Da Vinci.
Well,
because
there's always confirmation bias.
It's just because he has.
He's also a super nerd. Yeah.
He has in the picture of the Last Supper or whatever. The people were oh, there's these hidden things, and it was whatever.
I've seen what was that fucking movie, Demons and Angels or whatever, with Tom Hanks.
No.
You should watch.
Is it good?
It's so funny, bro.
Okay.
No, the Da Vinci Code. That's what it's called.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really, you'd like it. You'd like it.
Okay, for sure.
But there are plenty of examples in nature of things that don't follow the golden ratio.
Yeah,
corn grows in 2 stalks with 2 leaves that surround it because nature doesn't care about phi. Nature cares about success.
Yeah.
So if you can be successful without phi, go nuts.
Yeah.
But
phi has the whole thing of growth though, right?
Elaborate.
Well, obviously how you get it is adding the last 2 numbers to.
Well, that's a Fibonacci sequence.
That's the Fibonacci sequence.
So the Fibonacci, you can find phi pretty closely in the Fibonacci sequence. And when, I was talking about the pineapples earlier, when they rotate 0.61803339 rotation of turns each time that they like grow a seed. They're gonna grow in like this spiral pattern, but it's like a double spiral pattern. Whereas like all those other ones, they have like spokes that go like one direction. These spokes go in like two different directions, and that's because it's just how the phi of it works out. It makes it look like it's spiraling in two different directions.
That's pretty cool.
Which has it taking up the most amount of space possible, but it's because it is like as random as possible. It's the most irrational number you can get, and pineapples do that because it's effective. Artichokes do that because it's effective. Sunflowers do that because it's effective. And if you have pineapples, artichokes, or sunflowers that gain a mutation that takes that ability of them to rotate phi away, they're going to be less successful than their counterparts that can do that. But if they're still being outcompeted by other things that aren't adhering to that, they're just gonna outcompete them. I mean, like corn, corn's one of the greatest crops on the whole planet. It's one of the most successful. Do you know why?
Why?
Because we love it.
Oh, we
eat the shit out of it. We farm the shit out of it.
Yeah, we do.
It don't matter if it follows a Fibonacci number to us. We think it tastes good, so we grow it a lot.
With food too, though, is like the whole like we genetically mutated it. You know what I mean? So I feel like we have a little we tweaked it. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it is very successful. Maybe it wouldn't be if humans didn't like it so much. We don't know.
No, so it's like that is, I mean, a lot of most successful species on the planet right now, if you measure by biomass, are species that we farm.
You know what's kind of cool about like what else is correlated to the golden ratio or whatever? I'm just gonna call it that for like a second. But hurricanes. Hurricanes can have like that like
the golden spiral
they'll form
galaxies.
Galaxies as well, galaxies.
And with their like spiral galaxies, they'll do that. Waves of the ocean.
Dude, that one was crazy.
That blew your mind.
That one was crazy. Imagine literally a wave and it starts to curve in. You gotta fucking calculate it, see where it starts out. Literally phi.
Yeah.
Literally phi. A fucking wave, dude. Something literally. Like, water is the most, like, splashy, whatever.
Most random, like, follows physics and the natural order of things. You know, water will not mutate.
Yeah, well, you can put... that's not a mutation, but, like, you can
freeze it, you put stuff in
I was going to say, like, you could put it in a jar and it, like, takes the form, but that's not what it was.
Yeah, that's not a mutation. It's just filling. It's just following the rules set out for it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if you try and shove a person into a bottle... There's going to be some serious violent mutation.
Isn't it kind of weird that, like, it is in the waves, right? And waves are connected to the moon.
Well, and Bruce Lee said, be like water.
Be like water. Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee's a boxer, no? Bruce Lee. I can't think of
Enter
it.
the Dragon?
Dragon? Bruce Lee. He was a fighter. He was a
martial
Bruce
artist.
Lee. Yeah. I know martial. Yeah. I didn't mean to do that. It was a stimming thingy.
Yeah, it was a stimming thing.
But there is a lot of things in the nature that don't follow it.
But like, you know, there's a lot of things that aren't crabs. That doesn't mean that there won't be a lot of more things that do become crabs. There's a lot of things in nature that don't follow phi.
Even the fact
but that doesn't mean that given more time and evolution that they don't eventually fall onto phi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because it's more effective if you're spreading out like that. You're getting more sunlight. You're spreading more seeds. Yeah.
The fact that it is happening right now and like flowers are doing it. The petals on flowers too. There's a whole thing about that. But the fact that it is even like following that in like multiple things in multiple scenarios in nature, that's amazing. That's so weird. That's so weird. You know?
We gotta watch our videos for the technical difficulties.
Yeah, I know. I'm ready to fucking run.
But like there was, you know, researching this, I found a lot of people that were like anti-golden ratio. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's because it's a really polarizing, but there were so many people that were like, holy golden ratio.
Yeah. Two golden ratio because they were like, it's this divine.
It's proof of God.
Yeah,
it's the signature of a creator.
Yeah. Like, which also, I mean, if you think about it, if you're thinking like, oh, it's proof of a creator, it's also kind of proof of the simulation theory. So like, take it either way.
But like, at the end of the day, it's just It's literally just the mathematical definition of randomness.
Chaos.
So it's like that is entropy is ever increasing. So if it is like the mathematical almost definition of entropy, everything eventually will fall to phi.
Yeah.
Because
that's cool.
Entropy only ever increases. So it's like, and if it is the most irrational thing, what's more irrational than chaos?
Yeah.
So it's like an entropy. So with this ever increasing, like, you know, it's like pineapples look really pretty and orderly, but they're about as close to chaos as you can get without falling off the deep end.
Yeah. Pineapple.
And they benefit from it.
Yeah.
They use this chaos because they live in a chaotic world, so they use it to their advantage.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why
because
people.
The sun falls
but
in a
that
chaotic
is that is why people like start to get like that though. Is because it's like a code. You know what I mean? That's how people see it. It's like this code of nature. People say, you know, and like.
It's like It's like God got lazy and he's like, oh wait, I can just throw the golden and over there, and over there, and I don't. You know, let's just create like a Minecraft like generator world, and I'll just throw that number in there to help generate the world faster. You know, it's like the same way that. But like, that's just so human to think that someone spent their time coming up with the most irrational number possible to build a whole universe for us. Like, because they didn't get the easy way. We found out the easy way. We did the math backwards for the continued fraction. Yeah. Imagine having to just make that number. Yeah. And then throw it on everything. Yeah. You know, so it's like, that's why they say it's like definition of creator, but like, that is such a complicated thing that like, I don't know anybody that could come up with that off the top of their head. No way. I can find out somebody who might be able to figure it out with like a calculator. But then they figure it out having the goal to figure it out. And he had to figure it out without anything, right? And this whole concept, this math equation, I think started in like either old India or ancient India. Well, but who was the fucking guy? Fibonacci. What was his real name? His name was, I wrote it down somewhere. No. Because he brought Arabic numbers to England. Yeah, he did. He brought those mathematics to Europe. He was the one. Yeah, but I don't have his name down. We'll look it up. He wrote down like a whole. He brought Arabic numbers to England. I mean, like, imagine trying to do like 150 plus 150 with Roman numerals. That doesn't sound like fun. No, it's Roman numerals. No, like Arabic. I guess if you think about it, though, Roman numerals are just a different like. They're not. Why? Because I can display 50 as 50. What's 50 in Roman numerals? You have to put. It's an L. It's an L? It's an L. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. Okay. So like, there's too much going on, you know, because in between the Roman, I also don't think there's a 0 in Roman numerals. What? We had to discover 0. We did math for a long time before we discovered 0. Wow. We were buying and selling stuff as a society before we discovered 0 mathematically. Dude, but like the absence of stuff, you can totally like number, right? You can see it. I mean, like there's 1, take it off. There's none. There's 0. There's 0. But like, can you like no math? There was so much math done before the discovery of the mathematical concept of 0. So the Oh, we got the technical difficulties. Just hit the button. The wrong one. That's so funny. All right, I got it. Okay. What was it saying? What were you saying? That it's like, I don't remember. But there was a lot of people poo-pooing and a lot of people hyping up phi. Can I just say, the polarizing number. The person who discovered the Fibonacci sequence is Leonardo da Pisa. Yeah, not at all Fibonacci. AKA Fibonacci. He is Fibonacci. He got a nickname. He did. It was named after him, but like literally not. That's kind of funny. Yeah. But he became Fibonacci, I guess. I don't know. Yeah. But So yeah, Leonardo da Pisa was traveling around Africa, right? And he started observing these like Fibonacci numbers in nature, like everywhere you go. But confirmation bias is never talked about enough. Whenever you're talking about stuff like this, when you look for it, you see it. It's like when you buy a Subaru and you drive down the street and all you do is see Subarus.
Yeah.
You buy a Cadillac and all you do is see Cadillacs.
PT Cruisers.
Like it's confirmation bias. It's us looking for the things that we already know.
Yeah.
So once you know the Fibonacci sequence,
it's hard not to see it.
It's hard not to see.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got 1, 2, and 3 in the first.
Yeah.
That's so many things are gonna be 1, 2, or 3.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then you got 5, so you can skip 4. I mean, 5's a really good number.
Yeah.
Fuck 4.
Fuck 4.
I mean, 5's great. 8, whatever. But like those first numbers, you've got 1 through 5 minus 4. So like that's so much that's gonna go on just in that little bit right there, because that's where everything's starting. So you can find that almost anywhere.
They did an example on how it like kind of grows, and there was the rabbit one and there was the cell one. Yeah. Did you want to explain that?
The cell one was really good.
Yeah.
So it's imagining like a cell in a void, like the first cell that ever existed in the universe. Like all of the atoms just smacked together in the right way, and boom, life spontaneously exists. And you've got a cell. But that cell cannot reproduce because it's too young. So it needs to grow old a little bit. And then once it can grow old, it can then reproduce.
So 1, 2, wait, so it's 1, 1, 2, 3, 5.
First there's going to be 0. So 0, 1.
That looks like phi. Okay, sorry.
So we got 0, 1, comes out of nothing, a cell born into existence. And then you're going to have another 1 because he has to age.
Yeah.
So, he's aging. Yeah, so not that.
Yeah, I just fucked up.
So then he ages to a minute, and then he can reproduce, and now there's 2.
Splits into 2, let's say, yeah.
Yeah. So then, another minute passes, and in that minute, the one that's already old enough reproduces again. And the other one ages to a point where he can reproduce, and now there's 3, right?
So it's nothing to 1, and a minute passes, there's now 2, then another minute passes, now this one is old enough or mature enough
Say what you just said again.
There was nothing, right?
Yeah.
There's 1, and then it passes a minute, it grows into 2. He ages. And not to the point to reproduce though. So he goes into 2. Yeah. And then he ages again, and that
So 2 minutes have passed.
2 minutes have passed, and now there's another one.
Born. A minute passes, he matures. Another minute passes, he reproduces.
Matures enough to reproduce. So, and he reproduces.
And in the first iteration of Fibonacci, there's 0. There's nothing. And in the second iteration of Fibonacci, there is 1 because it's just the spontaneous existence of a cell.
Yeah.
And in the second iteration of Fibonacci, there is still 1 because that cell needs to grow up before he can reproduce. And then on the third, that cell can now reproduce and is grown up.
Yeah, and by the fourth one, right? It has reproduced, made 1, and the one it made has a half, so it's 2 now, right? Because it's growing. It's not half; it's growing, right? So like I don't want to be fuzzy by that.
So by the third sequence, you've got
fourth.
So
1, 2. Oh, but this is not the third. This is the.
So 1, 2, 3.
They're called terms, by the way, right here.
5.
Term 1.
Sequence and term are synonyms.
And then this is 0. This is n. Let's say. Oh, we don't have to get into that. Sorry.
By the nth term.
By the nth term.
So yeah, by like the fourth so by the third iteration, he is now. So by the third, you have first nothing, second something, third something old enough to reproduce, fourth something old enough to reproduce, and something new.
Yeah.
So now you've got 2 cells in existence by the fourth iteration of this cycle of Fibonacci. And now you have a cell that can reproduce and a cell that needs to age. So by the next iteration, the cell that can reproduce will reproduce. You now have 3. And then the other one that could not age will age. So now you have 2 that are capable of reproducing. And then you have 1 that is not capable of reproducing. You have 3 total, and then by the next iteration, those 2 that are capable of reproducing will reproduce.
And now there's 5.
And now there's 5. That 3 becomes 5 because the 2 that can reproduce do. And then the 1 that was just born, ages to a point where he can reproduce.
And so on.
So now you have 3 that can give birth.
Yeah.
So it's going to increase by 3. And this number that it can increase by is always going to increase by like the
2
number
previous
before.
ones. Yeah.
So you should put this little diagram that we're looking. Add one more and then put that up on the camera.
Yeah. Well, we could add it later to make it look better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Take a picture.
You're just like more work for me.
Yeah, it's real easy for you to say like, yeah, you just do that.
Yeah, I do. I fucking do everything, bitch.
Okay.
Wait up.
But I see where both sides are coming from. Like with this, Phi has definitely been overhyped, but I do not think that it needs so much hate either.
Yeah.
Because it is really beautiful. Like it's a really beautiful thing to like look at pineapples and artichokes and all these things and see, because those are pretty things to look at.
The universe, like
the whole
galaxies,
universe, the sun, waves, like all of these things are so pretty, but that doesn't. It's not because they have Phi, but it's not because they don't have Phi.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They all have Phi in common, which is
cool. I mean, like that's really cool. That's beautiful, in and of itself.
No, it's like I'll ignore it. It is beautiful. It is really beautiful.
So that's like really freaking cool that like it's because that is connecting. That's like these things are hugging from across the whole universe because like I'm like, you know, it's like I can go to China and if I figure out I got something in common with a guy, just like dab me up, bro. Like we're cool.
Hell yeah.
You know, so imagine like artichokes and pineapples in a room together. Wait, you turn Phi? I turn Phi.
Yeah.
Bro, I get so much sun from turning Phi. Like it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's like.
It's beautiful too because we're doing the math of it. They're just literally living and they're getting
falling
to Phi.
into that.
Isn't that like that is pretty beautiful?
Yeah. So like it is really cool. It is really pretty. It's really fun to do and like look at math. But I also think that that's not. Don't limit yourself into thinking that only Phi can be pretty.
Yeah. Also, because that's when it gets to like.
There is no such thing as perfection.
No, but
even
also
in ultimate chaos.
Yeah, but if it is the ultimate number that is chaotic, then wouldn't that be the perfect chaos number?
Yeah. I mean, it's the most irrational number.
Yeah.
Like you can't get close to measuring it.
Yeah.
You do that extended fraction on it all day. You're gonna never get as close as you do in the first 5 terms of pi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do we got? We've done Fibonacci numbers. We've done examples. So like there was definitely a bunch of people poo-pooing Fibonacci in art. Like I feel like I've brought that up a bunch.
Yeah.
But
not a bunch, but yeah.
It's you don't, but I also saw musicians creating music, giving themselves these rules and these structures to like create music in. And it's like when you are such like a chaotic creative person, like a Phi type of person where just everything is irrational, people look at you and they're like, that's crazy, like an Andy Wahlberg type. Like
people think he's crazy?
Andy Wahlberg?
I don't know.
Am I thinking of the wrong guy?
I don't know.
But I'm pretty sure he's just a wicked dude that everyone's looking at him like he's a fucking weirdo.
Okay.
But when you do stuff like that, giving yourself rules to follow can almost like imagine if I was just a crazy chaotic person with a lot of paint and I just scattered paint all over my walls. That's not going to be great art. It's going to look like you should put me in an insane asylum.
Okay.
But if I just take that thing off of my wall and cover that thing in paint, I've given myself some restriction and now I've created art.
I think art is a little hard to like say that is art because you could totally fuck up your room and that's art.
Yeah. Well, I think the definition of art is something that makes you feel something.
Okay.
Like that's just like if it makes me feel something, that's and it was created by another person, like with the intent to probably make me feel something, I would argue that that's art.
Okay.
I don't know if the intent is so necessary to like make me feel something.
No.
Because it doesn't need to.
Yeah.
It could just be an expression and then it does make me feel something. Art's really complicated. It's
art is super subjective.
Thing.
Yeah.
I love art.
Objective or subjective? Subjective, because it's what people. Yeah. Okay.
Because it's depending on the subject.
Oh, okay.
You're the subject.
I'm the subject. I'm the yeah. Got it.
As opposed to depending on the object.
Okay. Yeah, because that makes total sense. That makes total sense.
That's how I remember it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't think. If some guy starts coming up to you like, bro, like every artist ever in the Greeks and all these other people were like doing stuff with like the golden ratio to like do all this other stuff. I mean, here's a better fun fact if you want to go around talking like that. The coordinates for the pyramids are the like speed of light.
Yeah, the speed of light.
So if you want to go blow somebody's mind, use that rather than the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio.
But I feel like just with like it's not in everything, but it was in like it helped out with architecture because of the.
So.
Oh yeah, the
if
arms.
I was to make my like arm, like drop a rectangle from it, right? If I was to cut a square out of the box, then this rectangle that was left would also be a Fibonacci rectangle. Like. So that's at least how I understood it.
And your fingers
like,
too, it was the joints.
It's so.
Can you explain that a little though? What is it like?
So 1, 1, 2.
1, 1, 2.
1,
3, right? 5.
3. Yeah, I mean that's 3, and then 5. Yeah, and
8.
then.
Maybe? I don't know where 8 falls, but it's.
But it's like extending the length of your arm in like Fibonacci numbers.
Yeah.
Which, you know.
We didn't do on purpose.
How many other animals does that apply to?
I don't know.
Yeah, so I don't really either, and they don't talk about it, which makes me believe not a lot. You know what I mean? Otherwise, they would have been talking about it a lot.
Wait, doesn't that make it a little strange though? That like if
it only
not
applies
if
to people.
Yeah.
If how human is it that we're looking at it in a human way?
Yeah, that's funny. The humans are people.
2. Yeah.
1.
Humans
0.
deserve rights.
Yeah. Humans deserve rights. Animals deserve rights.
Animals do deserve rights.
More rights.
Don't use hair dye to test on rabbits.
Dude, they literally like inject their fucking eyes, dude. It's super messed up.
But like, yeah. So.
And there's better ways too.
Do look for the golden ratio in art, and do look for it in nature, and do look for it in these things. But don't. It is there in like it's literally structure in unstructured.
Yeah.
It is structure and chaos, and don't look for so much structure and chaos that you just lose the beauty of the chaos.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of really cool things to look at and just enjoy and just like, wow, this makes no fucking sense at all. I really like it.
I love that it correlates to so many things. I thought it was funny that people use it in so many things because you were even showing me like in the stock market, right? There's Fibonacci lines.
Fibonacci retracements.
Yeah, retracements.
If you want to see something cool, go to stockcharts.com. Pull up like the S&P 500 or some other random stock, and there's an annotate button you can click just under the chart, and on the left side you can click a little button and it'll pull up like a Fibonacci retracement. Make that by dragging and dropping from the highest point that you like and the lowest point that you like, and watch the stock price kind of bounce off of those lines.
Yeah.
And like that's really interesting. There's a bunch of people that use that to try and buy stock.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is if there's a bunch of people doing that, they're reinforcing those price changes.
Yeah.
Because they're looking at it thinking, oh, it's gonna bounce off of this.
Yeah.
So it does because they sell when it gets to there. Because they expect it to bounce. Mm-hmm. So it bounces, and that's like a reinforcing type thing. Yeah. Because it could 100% not be following the Fibonacci thing. Yeah. Except for the fact because we know the Fibonacci number exists and this graph, and there's a bunch of people looking at it. So now it starts to.
Without thinking about the people reinforcing it, because that is totally true. But like without thinking about that, I feel like that's kind of funny that like stock is kind of like random in a sense, like we're choosing the everyone who's buying stock is choosing to buy their own stock, and everyone's making their own decisions.
But it's still going off the chaos number.
Yeah, literally the chaos number. That's what I thought was really funny. Like, the reinforcement, would total sense, right?
Because it's growth through chaos.
But it's not everyone doing it. But it probably is enough people. But still, I just think that's really funny that it's like chaos. Okay, let's try to like figure out chaos with like this chaotic number, and that works with. It's funny. You should go see it. It's really funny to see the bounces and stuff like actually hit the lines that it's talking about.
It's really cool. I might throw one of those up, just to like display like a Fibonacci retracement line.
I could probably edit if I had a laptop.
Or skills.
I think I could do it. No, I used to do little like anime edits in middle school.
Yeah, then you probably got just as much editing experience as I do. But no, so like I really love pi. I really love the pi.
I think I love phi more.
I hate to say it, I think I like phi more now.
Yeah.
That's
so surprising because you would go on about pi.
I literally would talk about pi forever, bro. And that was... So I'm a little sad to decrown pi. Like, I low-key got offended when they were saying that phi was more irrational than pi. I was like, wait, what? No, bro, pi is as irrational as it gets.
Yeah.
I'm repping pi.
How dare you?
Yeah, don't talk about pi like that.
And you know what I thought was so even more like a punch in the face? The square root of
2 is more irrational.
More irrational than pi.
I mean, the square root...
Way to decrown, for sure.
But, like, so much more irrational. I mean, phi is as irrational as it gets with that 1 over 1 over 1 over 1 over 1 in its repeating fraction. But here's, like... The square root of 2 is 1 over 2 over 2 over 2 over 2 over 2. So it's like that 1 over 2... plus 1 over 2. And it's like, it's literally twice as irrational as the most irrational number ever. Yeah. Just because it's 2s instead of 1s. Yeah. And like, that's...
It's so funny though. That's like, what is the square root of 2? The square root of 2, right? Yeah. It's literally the square root of 2. There's no one significant answer, right?
Yeah, unless you start displaying it in an infinite irrational decimal. Yeah. Same way you do with like pi. Yeah.
And that's just so funny to me. That's just so funny to me. I didn't know. I feel like I gained a lot of appreciation for the square root of 2. Yeah. I really did.
It's fair. What about the square root of -1?
What is it?
I.
It's I?
Yeah.
Why?
It's an imaginary number.
Oh my gosh. You know what I thought was so cheesy? That was so funny. Someone said in a video that we were researching. Yeah. It was like, we're not only solving for X, we're also trying to figure out, or we're asking why. I love that, and it made me die. It made me literally deceased and cry.
Should like the math pun? I've heard that one before.
I never heard that. I never heard that.
Math is great.
We're also asking why.
Yeah. One of my sophomore year math teachers, Sarge, shout out Sarge, really cool guy. He was also my cross country coach for a while. Oh, wow. He gave a speech one class about... You know, like, because you always hear, like, in math class, whoa, when are we ever going to use this? Like, this is useless. Like, blah, blah, blah. You know, but he said, you know, nobody ever asked a football coach why we're doing push-ups. You know? Because you never do push-ups in a football game. Yeah. Never once are you going to do it. But you understand that you're working out a muscle that helps you perform in that game.
Dude, I didn't even think about it like that. And our brain is a muscle. Oh my God, dude. Muscle. I feel so stupid because I knew math is interesting, but I never thought about it that
it's push-ups for your brain.
It's pushing to what the fuck, and that's why it's mental push-ups, dude. That never clicked until right now. I swear. That's crazy.
Changed my perception of math. That made me love math because here's the thing: you can do push-ups for so many years, and eventually your body gives out. Yeah. You can't fight age. Yeah. You're gonna die.
Oh, well, that if you've seen Squid Games, it shows it in the beginning, so not a lot of spoiler, but like, I don't know if you're really picky about spoilers. Man. The old man, there's an old man.
Hey, go see Squid Games.
No. It's great. I'm just saying, in case you're really picky about spoilers, then like, just telling you, it's just like a little detail. But there's an old man, and he in the beginning is like counting every single person, and then someone interrupts him, and then he's like, "Oh, you made me lose track," and then he's like, "Why are you counting everyone?" He was just saying it was... His doctor told him he has something like...
dementia.
Yeah, he has dementia, and so he's like, it's going to get worse.
It keeps your brain healthy.
Yeah, and so like, it literally, it was like helping. So I'm just saying that like...
And that's like, our bodies are going to leave us. You can work out, you can do squats,
yeah.
you can do all that shit for as long as possible, but they're gonna leave.
And technically, if you think about it this way, we're gonna leave our bodies.
Spirit and mind and body. Spirit, mind, body. Those are 3 separate
What
categories.
is the spirit? Oh, it's in the soul.
That's a whole other episode.
No, I just mean, do you think there is a difference? Do you believe in both?
I don't know. That's a complicated question. I mean, I can
theorize.
I can silence my mind.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
No, I can't do that though. Cause I get that. Cause I saw this thing and it was saying like men and women like a difference or whatever is like men can literally have a little pocket where they're literally not thinking about anything.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
Okay. I mean,
I can't shut off my brain like that.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I do. I've done that.
Also,
I can sit there for hours.
I have ADHD though, so I like for hours, bro. It's not even just like a minute or two.
No, like hours.
And
like
literally not thinking about fucking anything.
Literally meditation.
I can't.
It's like here, like I had to describe one time as like, look at the pen. Don't think about it. Don't think about the color of the pen. Just look at it. Head empty. No thoughts.
No, because then I'm self-commenting.
You don't need to.
But I can't.
Just observe the pen as for what it is. Just look at the fucking pen.
Okay, you need to. Okay, wait to talk.
You don't even need to think about what I'm saying.
Oh, it's because I am thinking about what you're saying. That's what's fucking me up.
Just look at the pen. Just look at the pen. There's plenty of things that will always distract you. Just look at the pen. Like, don't be thinking of anything else. All you gotta do is clear your mind and just look at the pen.
My head's saying, okay.
Yeah, get the okay away.
No, but is that's thinking about something though.
Yeah, that is like you gotta just.
I used to try to do that.
The same way that I'm making noise out loud is what your head should sound like.
When I was a kid, I feel like I used to think like about nothingness. You know what I mean? And so like I feel like that's kind of like I can't get to.
Like think about the color black.
That's thinking about something.
Well, it's just clear your mind. Just be blank.
I'm telling you, I can't do it. It's not physically possible. No, I literally can't. But what's it called? No,
this is Buddhist meditation.
When I was a kid, it's fucking me up right now. Because when I was a kid, all the fucking time, I had like weird existential crisis or whatever, and like I just remember like literally thinking, don't think about anything, try to think about nothing, like literally like that. Mm-hmm. It's meta commentary in my head, and
I've done that.
And it's like it's so weird, but I can't get there. I can't. Maybe if I I don't know. I think
meditation helped me a lot. I literally used to kick myself over like the opposite of what you were doing.
Oh really?
Was like, man, why can't I constantly be talking in my head? I feel like I was wasting time.
Dude,
I literally felt like I was wasting time.
Really?
Because I was like, wow, I could be having a whole conversation. I could be learning something. I could be discussing something up here, but I'm not.
Yeah, this does get tricky though. If you're thinking, I have ADHD
a person
and stuff.
who thinks about nothing but thoughts. Well, nothing to think about but thoughts. Some
Alan Watts. I love Alan Watts.
Yeah.
No, I really do, because I feel like there's that cheesy video. It's not cheesy, but it's just that clip that went around everywhere, you know. And
Oh, I think that's the fastest recovery we've had for video.
Yeah, it really is. But what's it called? It's so sorry, but it's what's I saying?
Alan Watts.
Oh yeah. Okay, it's because a lot of people. I just feel like it sounds cheesy because of that quote, and you know what I mean. And like everyone knows that one thing, dude. Listen to his talks. I could hear that man talk for hours. Like he is so interesting. His perspective on things, how he tries to like show you that. He's so interesting. I really respect that man.
Yeah, he was definitely one of the first people that got me into like a spiritual kind of thinking mindset.
It's just
he westernized a lot of Buddhism and Taoism and all that other stuff.
But that he's spreading it in a sense.
So did the Beatles.
I feel like I really, really love his talks on like letting go. Yeah. I feel like that's really important, and like I am working on it. For the audio listeners, he's pointing a pen at me, and then I just stared at it for a second.
Well, what were your thoughts while you were staring at it?
I don't know. Do it again?
No, don't. You have no thoughts.
No thoughts. I'm screaming now. I'm going,
I can literally look at the pen and have no thoughts.
I can do that.
Yeah, I can.
Here, you hold the pen and I will have no thoughts.
Alright, here, I'm holding a pen.
I looked at your pink sweater. I noticed that I literally...
You can look at it. You can observe. Do not comment.
How is that?
Be passive. Be yin.
But if I...
No yang.
No, wait.
Put your yang to bed.
If I observe it, I'm thinking.
No, you can just observe passively. If I push your arm, you feel that sensation go to your brain. You didn't actively do anything. That was passive. That was I was doing something active. You were doing something passive, which was receiving what I was doing as an active person. So by holding this up, I'm literally just saying, throw all of the activity away. Just think of how do you be as passive as possible. Just look at the pen. Just feel your breathing. Just be. We're human beings, not human doings.
I feel like we're always doing something.
We are. We are constantly doing something. We're constantly distracting ourselves. And the second that we aren't distracting ourselves, we're looking for something to distract ourselves.
Oh no, but I love that you said that. Sorry. There was looking for something to distract yourself. This is super off whatever, but
well, we've been off for 5 minutes now.
It's okay. But we watched everyone not what is it called? Duncan Trussell's show.
Spacecast?
No, it's not Spacecast. It's
the Duncan Trussell Show.
Clancy.
Oh, Midnight Gospel.
Midnight Gospel. Yeah, no. So in Midnight Gospel, there's an episode, and it's literally talking about that trying to distract yourself and that feeling you have when it's literally not you're. It's
the pushing into matter.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. Putting the VR goggles on.
No, yeah. But it's literally in an everyday. Sorry, I am doing that. I need to. Thank you. Just shit.
No.
I'm trying to say less.
We are always trying to distract ourselves. It's fucked up to not be distracted. It's fucked up to feel.
That's so cool though. That's so cool though.
We always want to be doing something.
Yeah, we're
between the yin and the yang. We live in a yang society.
Yeah. Why?
Yang is overrunning.
Can you just explain to me the difference between yin and yang?
Yin is getting pushed. Yang is pushing.
Okay.
That's an easy way to look at it.
Okay.
Another way is I've heard yang as the divine masculine is being the space, and then the divine feminine is being the energy.
Okay.
There's a bunch of different ways.
The duality of things. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah, you can't have one. You can't have energy without space.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the point of space without energy?
Mm-hmm.
You know, there is nothing in that space if it's just space.
That's cool that what fills it is energy.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of cool to be phrased that way.
Well, it's I would look at Earth as a very yin type concept.
Yin is
just one? The Earth, the energy.
Okay, yeah.
Where space is space. It's the yang.
Okay,
you know what I mean? But then all of the energy
Mother
that we
Earth,
know,
feminine.
Yeah, is feminine, is this natural Earth. But then humans on Earth are a very yang concept because we spread like cancer.
Yeah.
We just eat, feed, reproduce, and build houses as far as we can.
Hurt the planet.
Yeah, we are taking from the yin of Mother Nature to expand our yang. And it's just that's why meditation is helpful, because it helps you to in a world where you're constantly having to run and survive and not die and be active,
find food,
you're suffering, you're suffocating your passive side.
The
you're constantly doing
just being.
You're not constantly doing. You're not being.
You're not being.
And
for real
that
though.
That is we are human beings. We're not.
I think everyone, but I think I should get more comfortable meditating and being alone in that sense. You know what I mean? I feel that's super beneficial.
Meditate to the point you see demons and then take a break. That's what I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you ever how do you phrase this? Get in a really loose state of mind. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And either from substances or tiredness, and your head is literally filling with really really detailed things, and it's just going. Does that ever happen to you?
Yeah.
Really weirdly detailed. It's a scene.
Well, I've had suicidal ideation before. Like,
but it's not you thinking about it. It's like literally you're like passed out, half fucking asleep. Like
I've been playing Clash Royale on my phone while asleep. Like the video game Clash Royale. That's crazy. I've literally just been like.
I feel like that's a waste of fucking
while asleep, and I was like this, and I was playing Clash Royale in my sleep, and then I would open my eyes and I'd be like, wait a second, I'm not playing. Hold on,
where's my phone?
I need to go back into my game.
Oh my god!
I would close my eyes to go back into play, and that is crazy. Because how am I playing Clash Royale in my dream?
It's not
so detailed.
Well, yeah.
Like with an enemy, and then like I can open my eyes and close them, and I'm back in the game.
Dreams are a little different.
I'm like, I was sitting in court. Okay. I was in court, bro, with like my leg like this. I was sitting waiting for the judge to call me for me to defend myself. Okay. And I'm like half asleep, like playing Clash Royale.
I thought you were talking about the dream. Okay.
I was in real life.
Yeah.
Sitting in court.
Yeah.
And as I was like kind of falling asleep, like waiting to be called on, when my eyes were closed, I was seeing myself play Clash Royale. Yeah. And it wasn't like my hand. It was literally just the screen, and I was like dropping the things where I wanted them.
That's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. Do you think dreams mean things?
That one didn't. If it was a dream.
That might have. Yeah. It might have been like, wow, I'm really, really focused on this. Like, you're stressed out about the game.
I don't play that. I have uninstalled that game.
That's good. Yeah. You were playing it a lot, though, so that makes sense.
Like 3 hours a day.
Dude, that makes sense why you were dreaming about it.
Yeah, I was playing like a quarter of my day.
I had a dream one time, and like, I woke up, and like, my partner was there, like next to me, and I was just like, dude, I was like 500 something. Just random things, you know what I mean? I just think that's funny. Like, dream state is really weird, I think. That, like, is something we experience. Not everyone, though. Well, no. I saw a thing, and it said everyone dreams, just you can't remember it.
I've heard that since I was a little kid, because I told people I didn't dream.
Yeah.
But I've remembered some of my dreams. I get to remember, like, 2 or 3 a year.
Really? I remember a lot if I think about it. I just remember the feeling after when you wake up and you are like, oh, I had a really, really detailed dream. I was like doing something. I was like, whatever. No. You don't have that feeling?
No, I just wake up.
I have dreams that literally try to convince me to stay asleep. It's like, you have to stay. You have to finish this. Like, we need you.
Another one is just on like some witch shit, don't tell people your
information. Yeah.
Your address and shit.
I'm not me in a lot of my dreams.
That's good.
Is that weird?
No, I'd say that's like identity protection.
I don't know. Sometimes a lot of it's third person.
But
should we wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, we're getting there. So we talked about pi a little bit. We talked about phi a lot. We talked about the golden ratio. We talked about Fibonacci numbers. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go check out that number file video. That one helped me the most. That, new way to think about or visualize Fibonacci numbers was also really cool. It's pretty. Mm-hmm. But
definitely, if anything.
Yo, shout out to what's his name, Leonardo
da Pisa
for bringing up Arabic numbers to Europe. Because
now we know.
Fuck Roman numerals. Fuck Roman numerals.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, go do a continued fraction for pi or the square root of 2 or phi. Because that's fun math. Like if you haven't done math in a long time, go do a continued fraction. Go grab a calculator.
Yeah, we were sitting here trying to solve one of the things, the most fun I've had in like a little bit. That was really fun.
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah. I think if anything, if you guys want to look it up, it's worth the search. It's worth the search.
Yeah. It's a polarizing topic. I mean, there were people calling it like proof of God, and there were people calling it overhyped.
Dude, literally. Did not expect that. I didn't expect the polarization of like literally.
I'm a number in math.
Yeah.
Yeah, that ain't the first one.
Which one?
Pi, bro. You think people will be liking?
People don't like pi.
People love pi, but you begin. I'm sure when math is a very polarizing concept.
It's very funny.
I mean, like, can you imagine telling those people that were told 22/7 is pi that isn't pi?
Yeah, like people who grew up with Pluto.
Yeah, telling them that that's not a planet anymore. Mm-hmm. Like,
it's a dwarf star or something.
Yeah,
is it a dwarf? Dwarf planet. It's a dwarf planet.
Yeah, it's
or something
there's
like
a lot of it's barely not an asteroid.
I like Pluto.
Yeah, Pluto's cool.
Pluto's cool, dude. Please check it out.
Yeah, look at it. Thank you for coming to episode 3 of Intro Avenue. Go check out I Am J Kill. That's one of my favorite artists.
We're on Spotify, by the way.
We are also on Spotify. Please go check us out on Spotify. I should have us on Apple Podcasts here in the next few weeks, if not sooner. So please enjoy, comment, like, subscribe. Also, tell us stuff to talk about, because I like talking about a lot of stuff. And you're all very awesome people.
And if anything else, if I miss you, good evening, what is it? Good evening, good afternoon, good night.